Hey, what's up YouTube? This is the Alchemic coming back at you today with part 3 of our card review. This is the Shaman, Warlock, and Warlock. And today we are going to go ahead and tackle all of them. Our first card is Air Elemental. It's a 1 mana 2/1 elemental card that cannot be targeted by spells or by hero powers. Very interesting. So it's a 1 mana fairy dragon that's an elemental. This card is actually quite strong. I feel like it's a lot like Worgen Infiltrator was in Aggro Hunter back in the day of Face Hunter. So it's very, very strong in that sense because it can't be pinged off. So it's actually a very strong pick, a very strong early card because you need to melee it, and it's going to deal 2 damage, probably 4 damage most likely for 1 mana. This card's very good. Probably one of the ideal picks as a 1-drop in Arena. Zombie Chow was better because it just stats-wise, it was very good, but cards like Worgen Infiltrator and this that have stealth effectively are very strong. So this can take on, if your opponent plays coins a 3/2, you can play this and you can almost guarantee that they're not going to kill it except by melee and, of course, battling or attacking. So this card's actually really strong, and it's a wonderful lead-off, especially with an elemental tag. So, your turn 2 elemental dude or coin turn 3 or 3-drop can be very good. I think this card's going to see a lot of play. It's pretty good. Next, we have Hot Spring Guardian. It's a 3 mana 2/4 with Taunt and Battlecry restore 3 health. So it's an elemental that basically is Earthen Ring Farseer type of thing. So obviously Shamans have no reason to play Earthen Ring Farseer. This card's just better, I think. Yeah, not much to say about it. I think the fact that it's elemental helps a lot, and of course it's just, I think it's all around pretty good. So this will probably see play in Arena. This card's pretty good, pretty damn good actually. Not only does it protect minions, but you can also heal something. You can heal a minion, and that can push a lot of tempo. So this card's actually really good. Next, we have Tidal Surge, a 4 mana spell that deals 4 damage to a minion and restores 4 health to your hero. This reminds me a lot of Seal of Light. This card's not that, I don't think it's that great. Drain Life is not played for a reason. Yeah, so there's not much else to say. This card's not that great. In Arena, it's okay. It's a 4 mana deal 4, but you'd pick Jade Lightning before you pick this card. So yeah, not much else to say there. Constructed play, very unlikely, and Arena play, it's alright. Next we have Fire Plume Harbinger. It's a 2 mana 1/1 that reduces the cost of elementals in your hand by 1 as a battle cry. So this card's actually really good because on turn 2, let's say, Grime Street Outfitter has is a 2 mana 1/1 that also buffs your dudes, and this one lets you play them earlier. So in a sense, you're getting a lot of tempo by playing this 2 mana 1/1. I think this card's actually really good for elemental decks because you get to skip a turn a lot, and that can be very strong, especially with the early drops. I mean, and the late game drops, because sometimes it'll be like whoever plays a certain card first wins, and if you play the Shaman Legendary, hit the Shaman Legendary with this, you're getting an extra turn, a free turn to play this out. So it's almost like ramp in a way. So I think this card's actually really good too. Shaman has a lot of pretty good cards. And with Tunnel Trog, Totem Golem rotating out, I hope this leads Shaman to a less aggressive way play. But the problem is this card might be pretty cancerous because Shamans already have Overload, and not too many cards in this set have Overload for Shaman. So you're getting like the elemental tag you're getting a lot of discounts, and Emperor Thorsan, is a really good card for a reason. So I'm afraid about what the elemental thing can do, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be pretty good. So it's also an elemental itself, so it can activate other things. In Arena, you're not going to pick this card unless you have elementals. Primal Fin Totem. At the end of your turn, summon a 1/1 Murloc. Okay, so obviously totems should not have no power. It's almost, think of it like an Imp Master in a way, but it can't attack. So think of it, like it basically can't attack. It's not a very good card. You're not playing this on turn 2 ideally to get value. In Arena, this thing can go unchecked, I feel like, a lot of the time. and get away with that. That's why you pick Master in Arena. I mean, Master is not one of the best cards, but it can go on in value is what I'm trying to say. So this probably will not see competitive play. It will probably not see arena play, but it's a filler card, I guess. Next we have Volcano, a 5 mana overload 2 spell. It deals 15 damage randomly split among all minions. So you can nuke the board. It's like an AoE. I like this. I like how this RNG is designed. So it's not like a lightning storm in a sense, because it nukes your own board as well. So this card's very weak against Reno Lock or just something like Control Warlock. But it's good against aggro. It costs 5, and I just worry about that because it's not that great for a 5 mana spell. It might be too slow because Pirate Warriors aim on winning the board before turn 4. So Lightning Storm, Maelstrom Portal are just better, I guess. Not much else to say about this. In Arena, this card is actually pretty good. But it's quite flexible in the sense, like, if your opponent has an Ezera, then you can play this and basically guarantee kill it for 5 mana. So, I like the way this is designed, but it's probably not good enough to see play in Arena or in Constructed. Next we have Spirit Echo, 3 mana, give your minions, return this to your hand. Echo Medivh was not quite played in GVG format, except in some shenanigan fun decks. This thing could see play with Baron Rivendare, so you could get like double cards. You can almost Echo Medivh it type of thing. In Arena, you're not picking this at all because it doesn't do anything to the board. And yeah, so in Constructed, there might be some OTK setup shenanigans that you can do with this, but it's probably not going to see competitive play unless that deck is actually really good. We have Stone Sentinel, 7 mana 4/4, not a 4 mana 7/7, and it says if you played an elemental last turn, summon 2/2/3 elementals with taunt. So this card's actually pretty value, lots of value. You're getting 8/10 of stats split among 3 bodies, 2 of which have taunt. So it's almost like a mini Cenarius. Once again, the elemental tag helps keep the elemental train going, but you need to have a turn 6, which isn't terrible. This card is actually really good, I think. Yeah, not much to say. In Arena, you're not picking this, so yeah, this card's pretty good in Constructed. And there's the Rock Elemental. And then our legendary spell, our quest, is Unite the Murlocs. It says summon 10 Murlocs. Summon meaning summon. You don't have to play them from your hand, and you get Megafin. That means a Murloc Tidecaller summons 2 Murlocs. Then you're 1/5 of the way done. So, and you get Megafin, and Megafin is a 5 mana 8/8 Murloc that fills your hand with random Murlocs. 5 mana 8/8 is ideally what you're trying to go for, really, by turn 5 or 6. And then the thing about filling your hand is weakened because of the amount of Murlocs that have been released. So, but you can get War Leaders. War Leaders are good. Bluegill Warriors are also good. Everything is Awesome is also rotating out, worth noting. So it's not going to be that strong. Call on the Finishers is a 4 mana that completes the quest. So I think this quest is very easy. Just play an aggressive, cheap Murloc deck. Maybe some Tiny Fins. Oh, wait, Tiny Fins rotating out, huh? Oh man, okay, yeah. Yeah, so not much else to say. I think this is playable for sure. Just the reward is not that great. So Elemental Shaman might probably be stronger. And then last we have Calamos, the Primal Lord, 8 mana 7/7. If you played an Elemental last turn, cast an Elemental Invocation. And Elemental Invocations are Invocation of Air deals, it's a 3 damage AoE. Invocation of Earth fills your board with 1/1, so it's like almost like an Onyxia. Invocation of Fire, it deals 6 damage to the enemy hero. And Invocation of Water restores 12 health to you. So overall, it looks like these abilities are worth about 3 mana, I want to say. They're about 3 to 4 mana worth of of abilities, and you get a 7/7 as well. So this card is actually really, really strong. People think it's pretty insane, especially with the Emperor Thaurissan thing that helps. So this card is actually really good. Definitely will see play in elemental decks. Thing is, it has a turn 8 play already. You know, Stone Sentinel. Oh wait, no, that's a turn 7. Shoot, dang! You can just play the Play on Curve elemental deck. So that might be pretty cancer. But this card's actually really good. I don't know if there's much else to say. In Arena, you might play it if you have elementals. But I just think that the elemental mechanic of planning is good for the game. So this card will definitely see play. Next we have Licari Hound from the Warlock class. It's a 4-mana 3/8 taunt, discard 2 random cards. So you definitely have Silverware Golem is a very considerable possibility. Can be very strong. But the thing is, you're getting +3 health on a Senjin Sealmaster for 2 cards in your hand. This card's only value if you have Malchezaar's Imp and Silverware Golem. It completely relies on that. Otherwise, this card's really bad. 3 health buff is not that great, especially because Pirate Warrior already plays Frothings, so this card's really bad. It's a demon, if that's worth noting. In Arena, this card's really bad. Not much else to say. Next we have Ravenous Tarot. It's a 4-mana 4/4 that destroys a friendly minion to adapt twice. So you get 2 adaptions. This card is really good with if you've been targeted by corruption, for example, if you've been power overwhelming, which has been rotated out, so probably not. If you're frozen or something, like a 1/1, this could be ideal in like a zoo type of deck where you have tokens. And we'll get to that card. There's a card that helps that in a moment. But is 2 adaptions good? Depends. Yeah, so in Arena, this card really, I don't know about it, because if you're playing, unless you have a token-based deck, this card's really bad, because you don't want to destroy the good minions. There are no, there are no Nerubian eggs. Actually, there's a Devilsaur's egg, which is almost like Nerubian egg, but it just overcosted to play in Zoo. So this card's actually really bad in Arena. In Constructed, maybe in a token-based deck. Then we have Tar Lurker, 5-mana 1/7 taunt, has +3 attack during the opponent's turn. So this is part of the anti-aggro thing against pirates. I think this card is actually really good for the game. It's a, let's see, what's a card that's very similar to it? I guess Fen Creeper. Well, let's see. I don't think Fen Creeper is not quite played in Constructed because it's just quite understated. Turns out, Druid of Claw 4/6 taunt is better. This is a 4/7, so it's very real. I think this card has a good possibility of being played. It really depends on all the Tar cards. On their playability is quite dependent on how fast the meta is. So initially on the Pirates or Onslaught, definitely Tars will probably be played. But as Pirates and aggro decks die, hopefully these decks will be able to control them. I think this was an anti-aggro deck idea created by somebody before. This is Corrupting Mist, a 2-mana spell that corrupts every minion and destroys them at the start of your next turn. So this is almost like a board wipe. It's almost like playing a Doomsayer in some way. I think this card has very real potential. Corruption was just really bad because it only targeted 1 minion, and it was okay against like 4-mana 7/7. But that means this card basically forces your opponent to develop something during the next turn. Sure, they get to hit your face a couple times, but if that damage that you take from that will be really determine whether this card is played or not. But this does wipe the board for 2 mana, basically guaranteed, unless there's like mass dispels, vanishes, or mass silences and stuff like that. So this card could be very much like a Doomsayer, if you want to think of it like that. In Arena, this card's not that good. I don't think you would pick this. Although, there might be some times where you do. I don't know. I don't quite play Arena, but I don't think this does something to the board. it's somewhat viable top deck, and especially because you have life tap. So, but you'll be paying a lot of mana basically. I mean a lot of life as well. So, and we have Feeding Time. It's a 5 mana deal 3 damage to a minion and summon 3 Pterodaxes. So Implosion basically got recreated as a 5 mana card, so it's not overpriced, and it's always at 3. So it's like, 3 is like the option that's just really bad, you know. So this is a 2 mana deal 3 damage card. It's like a 2 damage deal 3 plus a 3 mana plus like a mini muster for battle type of thing. And I think this card's way too slow. You know, Bane of Doom is seeing a little bit of play, but I think this card is too slow. I want to say, even though it's very possible that you know, anything that deals damage and then puts something onto the board is still pretty good. So like Firelands Portal, but this is also split among 3 bodies, so very vulnerable to Maelstrom Portal, AoE types of cards. In Arena, this card doesn't have a big enough impact on the board. I want to say that, so I don't know. Then we have Cruel Dinomancer. It is a 6 mana 5/5. Summon a Death Rattle. Summon a random minion discarded this game. Okay, so it's a lot like Void Caller. It's very slow because it's 6 mana, but it does give you chances to discard minions. Problem is, you can't quite control what you discard, so very possible that if you discard a Doomguard, this could help you bring it back. That would be really cool. If you discarded Jiraxxus, this can bring it back. That's actually really cool. But, I don't know. I feel like it's very slow. So, Pirates. That's the justification. In Arena, this is a 6 mana 5/5, basically. So you're probably not playing it. Unless you get really lucky. This next card is called Blood Bloom. It's a 2 mana spell. It says, your next spell this turn costs health instead of mana. So I guess they really like the health mana conversion because Warlocks are paying. Problem is Warlocks just don't have any heals, and with Reno rotating out, you really can't afford that. So Warlock really needs a lot of heals because otherwise Warlock just dies to burst damage. So these cards are not that great because they don't heal anything. And Warlock really needs to have heal in order to take advantage of these sacrificial and sacrificial cards that use your life as a resource as well as life tap. In Arena, you're not picking this card at all, like under no circumstances. Next is Chittering Tunneler, 3 mana 3/3. Discover a spell, deal damage to your hero equal to its cost. So it's like a reverse Ivory Knight. Once again, same thing. It just costs too much. Like if you want to pick a good spell, Siphon Soul, Twisting Nether, Hellfire maybe, Shadow Flame, right? Yeah. So you just can't afford to take that much damage. So I don't know if this will be played. I don't think so. Very unlikely. In Arena, maybe. Because if you pick up AoE, you have a pretty good chance. AoE is just very good. So, and our Warlock quest is Licari Sacrifice. It's a 1 mana quest. Discard 6 cards. Reward, you get a Nether Portal. So your Nether Portal looks like this. It opens a permanent portal that summons 3/2 imps that quite literally can't be destroyed. Nothing can get rid of it. Discarding cards hasn't quite been a problem. I think you have Darkshire Librarian, you have Soulfire, you have Malchezaar's Imp. Yeah, there's a lot of discard synergy. The thing is, I don't know if a permanent portal where you get you get 2 3/2 cards every turn at the end of every turn. But I don't know if that's good enough for this deck to do anything. So like the quest isn't that hard to make, but the reward might not be worth playing for, is what I'm saying. Because aggro just kills you. unless you're playing a Zoolock, in which case, yeah, you can kind of control the board in some way, and you might have a chance. But outvaluing Jades will be very hard. So, that's all I have to say about this. Clutch Mother Zavas, whatever. It is a, what the hell is that? It's like a mosquito or something. It's a 2 mana 2/2. Whenever you discard this, give it +2/+2 and return it to your hand. So this is like the ultimate Silverware Golem. You can get a 2 mana 4/4, 2 mana 6/6, etc. But the thing is, you can't control what you discard. except by playing it out onto the board. So you basically need to play a huge stack of cheap minions, Soulfire, discard effects, and try and get this out of your hand like once or twice, or Silverware Golems, and then get Malchezaar's Imp because it actually counts for this, and then get it back into your hand because it's Clutch Mother. So then you can play out a pretty huge 2-mana minion. It's a beast. Is this supposed to be a dinosaur? I don't even know what I'm looking at. In Arena, you're not picking this because it's just a 2-mana 2/2, so it's really bad. Warrior, we have a 1-mana Ironhide, gain 5 armor. So Priest got Binding Heal, and they had Flash Heal in the past, so this is very realistic. You know, weighing healing abilities as opposed to armor. Of course, there's the fact that healing can happen to any minion, but you can't stack it. It can happen to anything on your side of the board or your opponent's board, flexible with Aknai, but you can't stack it. You can't stack healing. Meanwhile, armor will always hit your hero. You can have as much armor as you want, but there are only a few things that interact with armor, so like Shield Slam. This does help against the onslaught of pirate decks and aggressive decks. It's a 1-mana card, then you can 1-mana Shield Slam, so 2 mana, deal 5 damage is not bad at all. Yeah, so this card's pretty good. In Arena, it's unplayable because same thing with Flash Heal. It's just it's not worth a card in your deck. Next we have 6 mana 5/5 Ornery Direhorn. It says Taunt and Battlecry Adapt. I think this card could be actually really good, especially in Arena. First of all, Arena is very, very good because you can get a 6 mana 5/5 with Taunt, and then just have a better Sunwalker. You can have 6 mana 5/8. You can have whatever. You could have Stealth possibly. I don't know. The abilities are just very strong, I feel like. And yeah, so Adapt, this card's going to be really good. Really depends, because Bogchamp was to be a really cool card back in the days when it was played, sometimes in Constructed. So if this card has enough value, we'll see play. But otherwise, yeah, I think it's just a very strong card. Quite a lot of value to be had. In Arena, this is one of your top picks for sure, as a mid-range late-game card. Then we have Tarlord, a 7-mana 1/11, has +4 attack during your opponent's turn and taunt. So this might be overkill. I feel like Tar Creeper might just be the best one because the whole point is stopping aggro in the beginning. So, you know, this will really seal the deal, I feel like, because it's just a slightly better Ancient of War. Even though I'm not sure if 1 health at this point really makes too much of a difference. But it only deals 1 damage at a time. We'll have to see once again. Tar Creeper can stop the onslaught, but it's just... it doesn't help. This card doesn't help by this time. I mean, it's definitely a wall to break through, especially with it being Warrior. Warrior can tank armor. So, we'll have to see. In Arena, this card... Well, it doesn't hit face very hard, but it does soak up a lot of damage. So, maybe. It's a very good defensive card, and I like how Blizzard is now implementing some more defensive cards. Next we have Molten Blade. Each turn this card is in your hand, transform it into a new weapon. So we basically have a Shifter Xeris of weapons. Question is, are random weapons better than random minions? Probably, unless you're getting, Light's Justice, Curse Blade, etc. Even though Curse Blade is being rotated out. So you have your bad options are a lot better now. You can hit Gore Howls, you can hit Doom Hammers, stuff like that. So definitely gonna be some Trollden shenanigans with this. In Constructed, it'll be just sort of a meme card, I feel like. And then in Arena, this card is almost like an instant pick, I feel like. Because this can, you're basically drafting any weapon in the game with this. So it's very cool. A very fun and a cool idea. We have Cornered Sentry, a 2-mana 2/6 taunt, Battlecry, summon 3 1/1 raptors for your opponent. So it's almost like a Dirty Rat, except you're guaranteeing that they're 1/1s. There are 3 1/1s. So without those 1/1s, you're basically getting a 2/3 with taunt. Slightly better than Frostwolf Grunt. But you can also combo it with, like, let's say Ravaging Ghoul or Whirlwind or something like that to get rid of the raptors. This is good anti-aggro, but you kind of need to have that combo, otherwise you're just playing a 2/3 with taunt, basically. So, In Arena, I think this is bad because you're giving your opponent a board and you don't want to do that. Although they are open to AoE, and Warrior is the deal 1 damage class. So, I don't know. I don't think so. Unlikely to be seen in Constructed. Unlikely to see play in Wild. Dirty Rat's only good because it pulls out minions like combo out of combo decks, or pulls out like Reno Jackson out of Reno decks, or Kazakis and Brand Bronzebeard. The important legendaries, but this doesn't do that. All it is an attempt on anti-aggro, and I think Tar Creeper's just a better choice. So, yeah. And this is the 1/1 Raptors that it summons. Then we have Direhorn Hatchling. 5 mana, 3/6 with Taunt. So it's basically a Fen Creeper, except it shuffles a 6/9 with Direhorn with Taunt into your deck. So it's better, slightly better than a Fen Creeper. Yeah. And then here's the card that it gives, Direhorn Matriarch. Yeah, so for 5 mana, this card is quite overcosted, obviously, but it's sort of like another cost-benefit analysis with Forgotten Torch, because you get 3 damage immediately, you're paying 1 extra mana for it. This one, you get a 3/6 immediately, you're paying 1 extra mana for it, but then you get a undercosted card. Now, we just have to evaluate how much that would be worth. A 6/9 with Taunt is almost like a 7 mana card. Much like a Forgotten Torch that costs 3 mana, you get a 1 mana increase. So this one you get a 2 mana increase. I think in Constructed this card's barely not playable, probably. And in Arena this card will be insane, I think. Because Forgotten Torch gives you extra burn in your deck. Thing is, minions are not as flexible as taunts and spells. So we'll have to see. But in Arena, I think this card is looking good for the strength. Our Epic, we have 2 mana Explore Angoro. Replace your deck with copies of Discover a card. So this is a complete meme RNG based card. Yeah, not much else to say. I feel like it's alright. You can YOLO with it pretty hard. The copies of Discover a card are all 1 mana. So it's really like, do you want to pay 1 mana to... It's like replace your deck with Raven Idols, almost. So it's very random and very unpredictable, but it can also be very fun. So that'll be really cool. Then we have Sudden Genesis, a 5 mana, summon copies of all your damaged minions. So first thing I think of is damaged minions. Must be, Frothing Berserker, Grim Patron, but Grim Patron is rotating out, and you only have Frothing Berserker. Depends. This could make like a combo based deck. That would be really cool because combo decks are really fun, and they take a lot of skill to pilot. But Blood Warriors is not played, and Charge has been nerfed, so I don't think that this ever has a chance of seeing play. But it could, once again, like the Radiant Elemental, Sorcerer's Apprentice type of card could make this into like an OTK type of thing that we just don't see right now. And our Warrior quest is Fire Plumes Heart. It's a 1 mana quest. Play 7 taunt minions, and you get Sulfuras. And Sulfuras is a 3 mana 4/2 weapon that says Battlecry, your hero power becomes deal 8 damage to random enemies. So you basically get Die Insect. You get Ragnaros' hero power. They really want to push the Warrior taunt mechanic, and I don't know. The Warrior just doesn't have enough strong cards that are worth taunt cards that are worth playing for this quest. The reward, it really changes the dynamic of how Warrior is played, and Warrior's played, to aim the late game, and Sulfuras does get you into the late game, but it takes away your arm up ability, and that's how the Warrior survives, by life. But I mean, I guess if you're able to kill your opponent, that might be better. It really depends on the playstyle and how aggressively you're playing after you get Sulfuras. Quests shouldn't be too hard to make. I feel like, you have I Know a Guy, you have a bunch of really cheap taunts, so you can definitely make something happen. But it's just the reward, once again. The reward is good, but it's just, I don't know if the deck wants to really go after that idea, because then you can go to the Infinite Rag. I guess they wanted to keep Major Domo alive, but yeah, so... That's that, and then the last card we have is King Mosh, a 9 mana 9/7 beast that destroys all damaged minions. So it executes everything for 9 mana, 9/7. Pretty strong. You can play Whirlwind, and then you can play this, and it executes everything. So you have a 10 mana, 9/7. So that's pretty good. Clears the board reliably. It's just if Whirlwind is worth playing, or setting up for this card is really worth doing. But I think Brawl is kind of the only AoE Warrior has. Revenge is rotating out. So this might replace that, and you might play a Whirlwind or a Ravaging Ghoul the turn before in order to set up for this thing to kill everything. So that'd be really cool. But I want to hear what you guys think in the comment section below. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We've got one more section left to go, and that's all the neutral cards. So I hope to see you all there in the next video, and I will see you later.